So, animals and their habitats. This is Miss Vu, or Amanda Vu, and teaching life science for second graders. So, today we'll be talking about animals and their habitats. So, first we'll be discussing animal features. So, different animals have different types of body parts. So, for example, fishes have fins or scales, which helps them live in the water. And there's animals that have fur, like cats, and that's to help keep them warm, and they live on land, since they wouldn't do as well swimming in the water with fur. There's also feathers, so most birds have different colored feathers, and that's made for flying. So you could also identify them based on like footprints, which is part of animal features or animal parts. So ducks have webbed feet made for swimming in the water, and there's dogs with paws where they're able to walk around. There's monkeys with grasping foot where they're able to climb trees, or chicken with claws so they could scratch the ground. So as you look around your environment, you can look and try to find animals, look at their features and see what they're built for. So there are different habitats that all these animals live in. They could live in floodplains, which is an area where there's lots and lots of water on land. And there, since there's water, you're able to find fishes. And there's also land, so you'll be able to find land animals. The desert, a hot place where mostly reptiles live. So reptiles include birds, insects, lizards. There's also the ocean. So many of you know that almost all fish live in the ocean. And there's many colorful types of fishes. There's dolphins. There's like parrotfish. But there's also other species that aren't fish, such as stingrays or crabs. There's also mountains, home to animals such as the bears, and caves where bats live. Most animals live right in the city where you live. So that includes pigeons, squirrels. So an example of an animal here would be a betta fish. So for betta fish, they have fins, they have gills, prominent in fish, and they have scales. And they're also able to breathe air inside and outside of water, which is a rare thing for fish. That's what makes them pretty special. And with a betta fish, like these domestic varieties, they've been grown in the home aquarium. So here the fishes could do with less water than they would in the wild. Here it's in a 10-gallon tank, and in the tank there's little rocks for it to hide in, and plants, artificial plants, and a few real plants. And the fish here could spend the majority of its time in the aquarium. So, as you can see, the fish has lots of long fins, a long tail, especially the betta variety. There are especially long tails for a fish their size. And they could live to be about 5 years old on average. In this home aquarium, green moss and brown moss, green algae and brown algae accompanies the betta fish. In the aquarium, they're fed some pellets and freeze-dried worms or tropical flakes. Bettas are curious creatures, and they are omnivore. They are predators in their natural environment, feeding on small insect species. So the betta fish starts off more or less like a fish. It starts off from an egg where the fry continues to grow until the day it hatches. And when it hatches, it still has a yolk sac attached. The fry would continue growing for about a month or so, where it starts to look more like an adult. Especially at the 3-month mark, it'll look especially like a regular betta fish that you'll find in the store. Betta fishes grow to be about 2 inches and 3 inches in length, and they are naturally aggressive fishes, and so shouldn't be kept enclosed with other of their species, including other species where they have long fins as well. Betta fishes are a cool thing about betta fishes is when they reproduce, the males will build bubble nests. So in the bubble nest, they would put the eggs so that they have oxygen. And yes, that's a cool thing about it. So one animal that we could compare the betta fish with is the brown bear. So unlike the betta fish, it has fur, it doesn't have scales or fins, and it lives in the woodlands of North America. So living in the woods, since it can't swim in the water like a fish, it lives on land and it eats plants and animals, mostly animals though, such as fish. And so it's known as an omnivore, meaning it eats both plant and animals. So the habitat it lives in includes the woodlands, but also rivers where they catch fish, especially fish known as salmon. So as you can see, overall, there's different types of animals. So you can look in your backyard and you can see that they could live around you, and they all have different environments that they live in that suits their body type. And so look around you and try to find animals and identify their body types and see where they live.